ServiceNow back then was a very, very different company to the ServiceNow that people know today. It was a small startup, pre-IPO. Most of the staff were in San Diego in California. There were approximately 50 to 80 people in the UK that made up the whole of the European contingent of the company, and the rest were in San Diego. There was maybe 350 people.
There's something cool, isn't it, about when you've worked in a big company and then you go into a small company, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was a small company and everybody knew everybody. Again, I'd started out in ServiceNow, started quite junior. I was working in the support organization and I joined as a technical account manager, which is a very glorified title for what I was doing. I was basically like a customer liaison for our support organization for the few ServiceNow customers at the time.
Yeah.
But being a people person, quickly established some relationships and some rapport, and the company was growing really quickly. And in the June, so just a month before I carried the Olympic torch, ServiceNow actually floated on the New York Stock Exchange,
Wow.
actually went through an IPO. So from a career perspective, again, more luck, right place, right time. Now, you and I have spoken before over the years about creating your own luck and about creating opportunities. I've got to put my hands up and say, I got really lucky, right?
Yeah.
Right place, right time. You know, had I not made that move, I wouldn't have enjoyed the last decade career that I've enjoyed, and even, you know, some of the financial security that career has afforded me. So, feet on the ground, hands up.
Yeah.
Feeling very, very.
You've got to be. You always have to be grateful for the opportunities that come, but then you've still got to take them as well. Because you think about it, you've built amazing relationships in that company as well.
Yeah, I mean, some people build software and products. I build relationships.
So tell me about ServiceNow then. So you're there, you're working. Tell me about that journey, and then what happens next?
Yeah, well, like I say, so went through the IPO. That was very exciting, and there's a lot of people got very, very excited because they were, you know, through being issued shares as part of, like, you know, the compensation package, were doing the maths, like, now what are those shares worth?
Yeah.
So this was back then in 2012 at the IPO. So there's a lot of people who were very, very excited. And then my career kind of took off after that as well. The company was just going through this momentum. I got promoted. I ended up leading a team within the support organization, managing what we called our major incidents, like our account escalations.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have a process or a tool in place to do it. And the senior manager at the time asked me to go and build that process. I did it with a bit of help, and we built the tool. We call it the MOT, the mass outage tool. And ultimately then, I just built a career leading these engineers in the support organization.
Yeah.
I did that for the first 5.5, nearly 6 years of working with the company.
Yeah.
And I was feeling pretty good with myself then. Like, think back to the time when I was with Wayne, feeling very sorry for myself. I now felt, look, I'm in this company, it's going really well. I'd obviously got the, you know, the fame and the fortune behind me from the Olympic torch and the fundraising. The career's going well. I was like a senior manager in ServiceNow, and it got to sort of 2015, 2016 timeframe. I can't remember exactly, but the opportunity came up to move sideways into the product org. So actually managing the software product. And that's really, like, if my career had grown then, it spiked then.
Yeah.
And in a football analogy, I remember a good friend and a mentor, Paul Hardy, said to me, Damien, this role you've got today is Swindon Town.
Yeah.
The role you're getting tomorrow is Real Madrid.
Gee.
And it was like the jump and the elevation in profile.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, every senior sales leader wanted to be my best friend because I was in the product team. Yeah. And every salesperson wanted a product leader to go and meet with their customers.
Well, I think what's credit to ServiceNow, they saw you've got the talent and ability. It's like you can spot a player from Swindon, he can play for Real Madrid, right? So that's you.
Is it talent and ability, or is it just being
lucky,
a people person?
I think it's a bit of both, but I think at the same time, you've got to have someone to believe in you and trust you, right? And then just rock and roll.
And they did. And I'm forever grateful, again, for that additional opportunity that really catapulted my career. So becoming the first product manager in the company outside of the US, you know, a lot of it was all West Coast US.
Yeah.
So I'm the first one in the UK, and all of a sudden my profile grew. I started almost with a free rein to go and meet with customers and partners. So I started traveling a lot. You know, my carbon footprint was horrendous. I've had to plant the equivalent of 2 woodlands to offset my carbon footprint.
Sure.
Now, luckily, my mother-in-law, in a prior role before she retired, she was working for one of the UK's large banks, and she was head of sustainability and partnered with the local wildlife trust to plant woodlands. So I went along and did some volunteering there to help plant some trees. So, not fully completely conscious clear, but feel like I'm doing a little bit to combat some of that climate impact. But at the same token, I've got to be honest, what an opportunity. I traveled the world. I've been to South Africa, Australia, America, all over Europe.
Yeah.
Literally, I think I've been to 5 of the 7 continents
Crazy.
with ServiceNow. I've yet to travel to South America, and we don't have an office in Antarctica. But I've literally been over the rest of the world. I look at I've been tracking them using an app, My Flight Radar, and I look at the cities and countries that I've been to.
Yeah.
And I look back then for that decade-long career and say, wow, you've had a career, you've had opportunities, you've been so lucky to see the world.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Not just the world. So, let's not over-glamorize business travel, because it can be lonely, it can take you away from your family, and it can be very tiring. So it's not glamorous. And in fact, ServiceNow's Chief Innovation Officer, Dave Wright, says, you can fly at the front of a plane, you can fly first class or business class, you're still in a tin can in the air for 10 hours, right? It's not glamorous, it's not rock and roll. We're not flying private jets here, right? No. So, but I did get to meet incredible people, customers, partners, fellow colleagues.
Yeah.
And I've gradually built up a network of friends, colleagues, co-workers, customers, partners, and my network started to really, really expand. And in the last 3 or 4 years, I'd say it's just gone stratospheric, right?
Well, I follow a lot of people on LinkedIn, yourself included, obviously, and I think you probably have one of the most engaged profiles I've ever seen. Like, when you post stuff, people comment, people like, people share. So that shows you the strength of the relationships that you have. And
I said about celebrities, in some way, I feel like a mini ServiceNow celebrity. Mini by height and mini by, let's be honest, you have to kind of temper. I love the attention and I love the engagement. It's something that drives me, it motivates me, it fuels me.
It gives you oxygen.
Like this now, just having a chat. Look at our partnership that we've met through a ServiceNow contact.
Exactly.
But that network, that engagement, it really is what drives me. And absolutely. Like I say, it's been an incredible career. I've been working there now for 12 years at the company, and I'm actually now on the brand influencer program because of those LinkedIn engagement, metrics.